Are you okay with the husband past?
Yes, yes.
All right. And I feel like I want to say at the beginning here that your husband was an incredibly strong-minded, powerful man. I want to begin with that statement. And what I mean about that is that he had certain responsibilities in his working life and his working role that he would have really enjoyed taking care of people and overseeing people within his environment of his job. And he loved to have this sense of responsibility and making sure that he was a perfectionist when it came to his role of job. And I know that he would have been involved in more of a management position, not so much that he was under people, that he was over people. So do you get them opening statements?
Yes.
And I know too here with him that I want to be involved. He had connections. Your husband must have known people who were solicitors. He must have known people that were involved as bank managers. He must have known people that were business owners, because I can see he had a friendship group that would have been around them types of individuals. So very much professional people. So what do you think to that?
That's correct.
And I know too with him that he brings memories here of, am I correct in saying, did he work in a bank?
Yes.
And would you understand where when he worked in the bank, that there wasn't that he moved around different offices regularly, but I still know that I want to have meetings in other banks, and I want to be going to other offices. So I don't want to, he had his own office, absolutely, in his own branch, but I know that he had the kind of role where he had to go to other places, other banks, and sit with other managers and obviously talk business, I suppose. So what do you think?
That's right.
Did he enjoy the odd game of golf, by the way?
Yes.
Because I just know here that he talks about the golfing, that he absolutely, you can see me swinging, alright? And I know that he's given thoughts, that he loved that sport. And you see the people that I talked about at the beginning, some of the managers, business owners, solicitors, they were part of his friendship group, and he showed me that he would have went on certain golfing trips. It wasn't just local to where we are. He would have went away, didn't he?
Yes.
I know he did, because he talks about he would have run away, and I know that at times he would have went to Spain. And there was a friend of his that owned a house in Spain, and the friend that owned the house, it was on the golf course, wasn't it?
It wasn't far from it.
Yes. Because he used to stay in that villa with that friend who was a businessman.
Yeah, we stay in it now.
You both stay in it now? My heart, isn't that incredible? Isn't it? How wonderful. Now, he is strong tonight. But keep going. Hold on, wait a wee drink. Oh, I'm all excited for you. All is. He must have known you before that you got involved with each other, because I just felt that the both of you were friends, weren't you?
Yes.
Because he remembers that he knew you, and he kind of had his eye on you, but he said you were with somebody different. And it's not that you had like an affair, but I think he would have definitely went that way to get you. But he had to wait until you were finished with whomever you were with at that time, and then, he could sort of get something started up. So, how does that sit?
Yeah.
100%? Good.
Tracey came back and we met up again, yeah.
What, sorry?
We went for a away, and then I did Tracey came back and we met up again.
But you were with somebody different, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had to wait till you were done with him, and then he wanted you for himself, you see? And then he married you, of course, cried his eyes out. I know he did, but this is why. But he wasn't an emotional man. It took a lot to get your husband, tearful or sort of filling up as such. He's saying to me to tell you that he still loves you as much as he has ever done, and that you don't walk alone without him. So know that when you're walking in the woods in Crawfordsburn or elsewhere, it doesn't matter, he is at your side, because he showed me that you're trying your best to still get your head around the loss of him, regardless of how much time has passed. He knows you still think about him, like on a daily basis, every day, and you still kiss his photograph every day. And it doesn't matter how many years has passed, he still gets a kiss every night. Do you get me? Doesn't he? And he said, let her know that I'm still present. I'm still present. And do you have a son together?
Two.
Okay. Is there one of your boys that is really tall?
Yep.
You know, he's, Mummy, you know, do you get me?
Yeah.
Because he showed me he's even taller than your hubby, because your husband was a tall man, you know, and he's just showed me he's even taller than him, so he must be over 6 foot.
Yes, he's 6'1".
Yeah. And I just know that your husband's saying, just let him know, like he's around him, and he sees that obviously they're turning into young men, and they're developing and growing, but they're still very much at home, still very much there with you. They haven't moved out of the family home yet, and they have good sense of for their education and good minds and a vision for their lives. I know, and he's saying, but because you're such a close family, which is wonderful, your husband in Spirit is giving encouragement to both of their boys. Alright? Oh, that's why. Did you get the one who's had sort of the growth spurt as such? Did he have to get a new bed?
Yes.
That's it. Because he's just, I'm saying to him, why did you mention money? No, it's because he had to get a new bed, that's why. I see the big growth spurt in him, and he feels here, because obviously, you know, his legs have got that little bit longer. So he's around your children. So it's not good to know.
It is, yes.
And isn't it good to know that he sees, for both of them, by the way, university? And he feels, do you know, as a mom, I have a feeling one of your sons is going to go away. So I don't feel it'll be here, and it might sort of, for you, you know, it might knock you back a little bit, but you'll be okay, because moms do that, and then you sort of, you know, you have to just get used to it. But know that they have their own path to lead, but your husband from Spark is giving them the support. He said he gives you all support in his own ways. He is so grateful to come through tonight, to remind you that his love to you is still streaming in the most beautiful way, always, always, always. And his golf clubs are still in the garage, aren't they? You know? And he's saying that you want to keep those because you want to give those to the boys for when they're slightly older as a token of sentimental, they were your dads. And he feels one of the boys is going to be just as good of a player, because naturally as a father to his son, I know that he would have showed one of them, but I feel one of them didn't really take to it, but one did.
Yeah.
Isn't that right? And he's just saying that will be the one that will take the clubs, and then he'll always have his daddy's glove clubs. And I have a feeling that part of, on the side of it, there's a signature that your husband has on the side. Not that he's famous golfer, alright, but I know that he did that just as a way of, you know, when you're putting your golf clubs through security, etc., just as a way of like identifying, oh, that's mine. So do you know if there's a signature? Well, you're going to check now, aren't you? So remember that being shared, just as a little extra thought. And he's actually saying that we're out clearing the garage recently.
It's starting my mother-in-law's house, we were down here.
Which is we're clearing it out, weren't you?
Yes, because we'll stick on the outside.
Yes. So, and he's just saying that he was watching, and he came across other personal belongings to him. It wasn't just the golf clubs. Do you get me?
Yeah.
He's saying that I've been around, and that's why. He doesn't want you to ever think that you're on your own. So may I leave you there with your husband's love, his connection, and know that he loves you more than ever. And I hope that you can feel that of what I'm trying to share tonight, not just listen to the evidence of his memories, but you can feel his love, and maybe everybody else in the room. And he said to me, he just said one more thing, he just said, she is still as beautiful as the day that I married her. He said, you're still beautiful. And he says, stop putting yourself down. He says, you know, most women, we all do it. We wake up, I'm ugly today. I'm not good enough today. Look at the state of me. And then as his word starts, and he's just saying, no. He says, you're beautiful. So he wants you to get your confidence a little bit more going. How does that sound? Do you get me? I think every woman in the room is now wowed by him. He's a keeper, alright? So maybe some changes ahead in its own way, but your husband's navigating that, but he will steer it in a way that it is right. So I'm going to leave all that with you. I could go on and on with him because he's given me more more about boats and everything as I say that, because he had an interest in boats, didn't he? And he done sailing. I'm going to leave all that with you there. Thank you very much. Well done.